Students are losing thousands of dollars because of identity theft. And one way you may be thinking you're protecting yourself might actually be making you more vulnerable. We have what you should be doing to fix this. And look, having issues with your credit report and not being able to get it fixed, that is now a top complaint. But we have help and the way to get the fastest response to correct a mistake. And look, we are having some serious arcade nostalgia today. Stick around and see the reason competitive pinball is making a comeback.
Thank you, Chris. I'm Amanda Starantino, and this is the Now Indy on RTV6. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and one central Indiana city is working to combat the stigma surrounding mental illness. Our Alyssa Donovan explains what the city of Fishers is doing differently and the impact that could have.
Fishers Fire Department has responded to 42 fires this year and 164 behavioral health calls. The numbers paint a picture of a need in the community, a need the city is working to meet.
I asked my police chief and fire chief what we were doing around the issues of mental health, and the resounding answer was nothing.
Since the mayor asked that question, the city has started a mental health initiative, an effort to destigmatize mental illness and provide more resources in the community. The initiative triggering positive change, like how first responders handle behavioral health calls.
What we're able to do now is de-escalate these situations, take these people directly to the services they need instead of going to the emergency room.
And following up with the patient 72 hours after the call.
Make sure that they have food, make sure that they have the medication that they need for whatever disease they have.
Changes have also been implemented into schools.
Anytime we have a student either that expresses suicidal ideation to a friend or a teacher or goes to their counselor and says that they're feeling like they want to hurt themselves, we have a specific procedure.
There's also been an increase in students advocating for each other, working to eliminate the stigma around mental health.
Because it's so prevalent and it's so widespread, I mean, it's foolish not to talk about it. Something that impacts so many people, ought to be discussed.
The success of Fishers' mental health initiative is something the city is sharing with other communities.
This is not a uniquely Fishers thing. It's a United States thing, but more succinctly, Indiana struggles with this fairly significantly.
I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Thanks, Alyssa. And tomorrow, the Mental Health Task Force is updating the community on the outcomes and successes of the initiative over the past year. The meeting is open to the public and starts at 1:30 at Fishers City Hall. Kevin.
If you are counting, 4 straight days now, temperatures have been 60 degrees or cooler. That's quite a stretch for this time in May. We'll break the string as temperatures go well into the 60s tomorrow and then up and away from there. It's 57 right now in Indianapolis, 58 in Kokomo. Lots of cloud cover, but one thing that changes between now and, say, 9 o'clock, western Indiana, the clouds beginning to break up, and I think we'll see skies gradually clear as we go through the evening hours. The big swirl of rain that we dealt with over the weekend is off to the east, and high pressure will move in, and that will clear our sky tonight. It will set the stage for cool temperatures. Coolest right now in the eastern portion of the state. Temperatures a little bit warmer in the west, where 61 in Terre Haute is the warmest we have right now. For the evening hours, again, a decrease in cloud cover. Temperature will drop about 7 degrees from 7 to 11. Plan on 50 at 11 o'clock tonight.
A growing number of law enforcement agencies are using facial recognition to solve crimes, but now San Francisco could become the first city in the U.S. to ban police and city agencies from using it. Congress could take action as well, and Corey Rangel has a look at the concerns with this technology and what's being done to try and ease them.
San Francisco is expected to set a groundbreaking precedent on Tuesday by voting to become the first city in the country to ban police from using facial recognition. Part of the reason, concerns about accuracy.
With Caucasian faces, facial recognition is pretty good, meaning it has a 90 to 95% accuracy rate. But with minorities, sometimes the accuracy rate drops to 70%.
Daryl West is the director of the Center for Technology Innovation with the Brookings Institution.
It's your face, it's your identity, and once it's in a database, who knows what it's going to be used for.
A Georgetown law study found 1 in 2 American adults is in a law enforcement face recognition network. Law enforcement has argued the technology helps solve crimes or improve investigations. Agencies across the country can use driver's license photos or mugshots to match someone's identity.
All it's doing is using what's readily available.
But But it's not just law enforcement using the technology. Stores, airports, some concert venues are all starting to work it into their operations. It's become so mainstream, Congress is now considering a bill to stop businesses from collecting facial recognition data on customers without their permission.
I think people find it very intrusive that you're just walking down the street or going into a store and somebody's recording your face and then attaching your identity to that image.
If the bill in Congress passes, it would be the first federal law on facial recognition. I'm Corey Rangel reporting.
All right, Corey, thank you. And today, China announced it's raising tariffs on hundreds of American products. It's in retaliation for President Trump's increased tariffs on Chinese products last week. Now, those came as a result of failed trade talks between the two countries. American products like cotton, grain, and wine are facing the penalty in China, while Chinese meat, toys, and clothing are just a few of the items that we'll be paying more for here. All right, let's get back to our lineup. And older adults losing thousands of dollars to identity theft. We're going to take a look at how you may become more vulnerable despite trying to protect yourself.
Welcome back to the Now Indy on RTV6. We've reported about the global shortage of helium that may not be good if you're planning a party with balloons, but we're now learning it could be even worse news for your health. Purdue University tells us hospitals rely on helium-2. The element plays a vital role in cooling MRI magnets, and it's needed in much of the research tools that chemists use. George Bodner, a professor of chemical education in Purdue's College of Science, talks about how this helium shortage could impact you. He says, quote, the most significant impact of a serious shortage would be the inability of hospitals to keep MRIs running or in limiting patients' access to the imaging technique. To understand the impact this would have, you'd need to think back about 40 years to a time when surgeons had to do exploratory surgery for diagnosis they can get in 30 minutes with MRI images, which are neither dangerous nor invasive, end quote. And nearly 75% of the world's helium supply is produced in the U.S. Purdue says at current rates, it is projected that reserves of the element could run out in as few as 5 years.
Let's start the news feed with the Supreme Court allowing a lawsuit against Apple over how it sells its apps. Suit points to how the company charges software developers 30% for the programs that are sold in the App Store. The suit says it's unfair, though, because the only place that iPhone users can download apps is in the App Store. Personalized ads coming to your TV. The Wall Street Journal says CBS, Fox, and Viacom are looking into addressable TV ads, which means advertisers could show different commercials in different homes, all watching the same show. The commercial you see would depend on the data that companies have on you. Empire is coming to an end. Fox says the show's 6th season will be the last. Fox's CEO says they do not have plans for actor Jesse Smollett to return. Charges against the actor were dropped recently, accusing him of faking a hate crime. Well, older Americans are a big target for identity thieves. Experts say that older people often think that they're protecting themselves, but they may actually be making themselves more vulnerable. Now, a study by financial services firm TrueLink found that adults 65 or older lose an average of more than $7,000 over 5 years due to identity theft. Now, they most commonly fall victim to someone opening a bank account, credit card, payday, or car loan in their name. According to fraud monitoring company EverSafe, many seniors feel that online banking isn't safe, and that's why they're hesitant to embrace the technology. Fraud experts say, though, they are doing themselves a disservice because when you don't set up your own online account, someone else can do it in your name fraudulently. Now, not to mention many of the big breaches like Equifax that had nothing to do with whether you bank online or not. So if you or maybe a loved one is hesitant to try online banking, there's a tool called Ready Set Bank that might help. Capital One is a partner, but you don't have to be their customer to be able to use it. The easiest way to find it, just Google Ready Set Bank. There are tons of videos that can walk you through every step of online banking. All right, let's get back to our lineup here. And Amazon Needs Delivery helped so bad that it's actually offering workers to quit their current job and start a delivery business, but we're gonna look into whether this offer would really be worth it.
Tune up for only $89. For on time.
Amazon wants us to get our packages faster. So now it's asking its employees to quit their job and start a delivery business instead. Amazon wants to help with this by covering $10,000 in startup costs and giving 3 months' salary. But Kamasi Aaron's looking into whether these incentives are actually worth it and what it'll actually take to succeed.
Before Ricardo Drago owned his company delivering 12,000 Amazon packages a day, he was a bodyguard.
Yeah, logistics. That's a whole nother ball game.
He was one of the first to take part in Amazon's pilot program, helping people build a delivery business. Ricardo received training, coaching, and financial assistance to get his business off the ground.
It's not like they say, hey, here's 20 vans and throw you to the wolves. They actually coach you through and everything. So it's actually a really smooth process.
Today, the company announced it's trying to replicate Ricardo's success by expanding its delivery service partner program, offering current Amazon employees up to $10,000 and 3 months salary to start their own delivery businesses.
If you're an entrepreneur and you want to be independent, you don't mind working, 80 plus hours a week, this is perfect.
But experts say there are still risks.
If you're asking someone to leave your job to go do it, 3 months and $10,000 is great, but I think more support is really called for.
Amazon has pledged to provide new business owners with regular work, access to its delivery technology, hands-on training, and discounts on Amazon vans, uniforms, and insurance.
They want them to succeed. It's not a passive operation. This is an active engagement with entrepreneurs to be mutually profitable.
Amazon wants to create its own delivery empire instead of using companies like UPS and FedEx. It says since June, it's already created 200 new delivery service partners.
If you're intimidated, don't be. You got us to help you. You got Amazon to help you. So don't be intimidated. Go for it.
I'm Kamasi Aaron reporting.
Kamasi, thank you. And Philip Morris is stopping the worldwide social media marketing campaign for its tobacco heating device, IQOS. A Reuters investigation found that some social media influencers posting about the product on Instagram were as young as 21. Philip Morris's own standards state the company won't use anyone who is or appears to be under 25 for marketing. IQOS has been available in other countries, but was just recently approved for sale here in the United States. Well, in the case of the recent STEM school shooting outside Denver, the suspects reportedly took weapons by smashing a parent's locked gun cabinet. Now, there are more incidents of kids getting guns because they aren't locked up. Hypothetical study published in JAMA Pediatrics today found if just 20% of all homes locked up an unsecured firearm, between 72 and 135 children's lives would be saved, and between 200 and 300 youth-involved shootings would be stopped. Doctors across the U.S. are dealing with even more cases of the measles this week. The CDC now reporting there are 839 cases nationwide. So far, 23 states dealing with the outbreak, but New York, by far with the biggest amount of cases, more than 450 in that state alone.
549 in Indianapolis. Now, this is a great looking picture. This is from the pagoda at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, kind of shrouded in cloud cover here, but look at the sun break through and just illuminate the capital city. Lucas Oil Stadium, JW Marriott, kind of a city tour from a distance, other tall buildings, and it's dry everywhere. 55 in Muncie, 60 in Bloomington. Temperatures in western Indiana still may climb a couple of degrees. The sun doesn't set until 8:45. We've got a little time, and I do think we'll begin to see more in the way of sunshine. The warmth sits out to the west. It will visit the state this week. Temperatures in the Dakotas and portions of Nebraska well into the 80s, and you see what happens here. Our trend up and away. Above average temperatures are expected after 4 or 5 straight days with below average temperatures. All in the 50s now with those couple of exceptions. Temperatures overnight tonight with skies gradually clearing. They'll drop to around 50 degrees for overnight lows. Will eventually end up at about 40. This is 50 at 11 o'clock tonight. During the day tomorrow, we'll see a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Temperatures will start at 42 degrees, 58. The late morning temperature will be a good day at the Motor Speedway. Temperatures as we go from late morning in the upper 50s to the mid to upper 60s for the afternoon high tomorrow afternoon. 4-day forecast is coming up.
Let's start the news feed with Amazon putting new machines in some of its warehouses. That's putting hundreds of jobs in jeopardy. The machines box up customer orders, and Reuters is reporting that one machine does the job of 24 people. These machines could cut 1,300 jobs in total. Well, the demand for cashmere is having a negative impact on the environment. The Wall Street Journal reporting that there's been a sharp rise in cashmere goats, which has led to vast grasslands being chewed into deserts in Asia, where the majority of cashmere comes from. Now, some big-name fashion labels, they're looking for ways to produce cashmere in a more environmentally friendly way or just phase it out of its products altogether. Well, the cost of Starbucks has nothing on what a California coffee chain is charging for a cup of joe, because Klatch Coffee Roasters now selling the world's most expensive coffee at $75 a cup. Some exclusive coffee beans that have been shipped in from Panama. 1 pound of that stuff goes for $803 wholesale. Well, pinball, that is a game that's been around for a very long time. It's making a competitive comeback, and our Nicole Vowell taking us to the command center for the sport.
Pinball is different than a video game. Just the randomness. Hitting the flippers, feeling the pop bumpers go is different.
In a world of digital games, these people prefer old school.
It's all about ball control, and the best pinball players in the world, they have it.
Strategize and start different multi-balls.
They take pinball.
I will never play Batman 66 again.
Seriously.
We play in a league, the Chicago Pinball Authority League. There's 32 active participants.
Competitive pinball is growing in popularity, and its headquarters is here in Chicago.
This is where a lot of the best players in the world are.
There are over 200 pinball arcades in the city and countless leagues. This league started with this guy. And in order to understand his passion, I need to take you here.
You come down and you don't realize you're in a house.
It all started with one machine.
We bought a second, then a third, then a fourth, and then now we have over 60. So, and we're about out of room again.
Now Kent Zilch's basement is his permanent practice area.
They're saying, play me. We like a mixture of old pinball machines with the new ones too. So if you look around, there's machines all the way back to the 60s.
The newest game added to his collection, the Munsters. And on Zilch's team, it's all about family. His wife and children are also pinball wizards.
We come down here probably 4 or 5 times a week.
And when it's pinball season, they practice together.
We start usually in January and then go through August. We have an A division and a B division. Whoever wins A division gets the really cool trophy.
Each game has its own set of rules. 4 people to a machine, and one goal, rack up the most points.
You go to each game, and then you get points based on what place you come in.
The competition keeps him, his family, and his team coming back to the flippers. But so does the fun.
This is pinball in Chicago, so you find it everywhere.
From the pinball headquarters of the U.S., I'm Nicole Vowell reporting.
All right, Nicole, thank you. Let's get back to our lineup. And more people are struggling to get credit report mistakes fixed. What we found is the way to get the faster response.